Welcome to Modern Homestead, Alaska. I am Jessica, and with winter in full swing up here in Alaska, it is the perfect time to start planning our indoor and outdoor garden for the 2025 season. With that, we're doing an entire seed haul. What all did we get and how we plan on using them, as well as gathering some soil so that we can start our seeds indoor. And let's do a couple of indoor plants just to kick off the gardening season of 2025. Won't you join me? So I looked up all of our local greenhouses to see if they were open and available, because they do start selling seed mixes, soils, maybe indoor plants and those sort of things in February, which is what we're in, but none of them are open for another couple of weeks. And I want to get a bale of soil to start getting started, if you will, and they're often frozen up here because they're stored outside. And so I'm gonna head into Three Bears, Alaska, and see if I can't get a soil block. I've seed started with both of these Fishy Pete's. So this is an organic Alaska soil, and then this Alaska Earth. It's also made by Fishy Pete's. This though is a lot lighter for the seed. We're gonna go to the Home Depot and get some indoor plants for my grandma, and I found roses. These are indoor, outdoor, little bitty rose plants, and you can plant them outdoors, full sun or partial sun inside of the house. And so I think I'm gonna get a couple of these for my grandma. So what colors? The purple one, $6.49. And let's do a white one. We made it to the Home Depot, and the plants, there's almost nothing for inside plants. I found this little guy. I think it'll be cute. I have some pots at home, and I'm gonna step it up in order to just have my grandma something in her room. And I think I'm gonna try and divide the plant that is on the table. They do have some bulbs, so I found some Dahlia. Some beautiful ones. They had a proven winners one. How beautiful are those? And some asparagus. I have not yet grown asparagus, but it's absolutely one of our favorite things to grow. And so I thought I would go ahead and grab those while they have them, because I don't normally see either one of these at the Home Depot here. So I'm gonna breeze around and see if there's anything else I need. I think I'll grab a couple flower seeds. Well, we got our seed haul, and I wanted to talk about where I live and why we must start everything super early while it's still snowy out here. We're in the Matanuska Valley, so we just call it Mat-Su. That's the area of Alaska that I am in, and the average growing season can range anywhere from 104, 105 to 140 days. I don't see the 140 days where I am at. However, someone with maybe a little higher elevation, hotter temperatures, they also get colder in the winter, but I am super close to the inlet, the Cook Inlet, just across from Anchorage, Alaska, and we have a super short and very cool growing season. Cool meaning our summers don't get up into the 90s and 100 degrees. Our temperatures are always a little bit cooler, and since we moved here in 2021, they're also very rainy. So that helps contribute to the cool temperatures and where we live. So in order to have things, lots of these things, they must be started indoors because the growth time on the plant, so that's kind of what we're looking at, days from when the seed is planted to when you can harvest it. We start looking at those days, and most of the time, those periods, it takes longer for the plant to grow to the point of harvest than what we have. So I got my seeds from Homestead Seed Company. I've shared that on the channel for the last several years. Although I am told the seeds are not grown here in Alaska, they are grown for Alaska. Denali Seed Company used to be here in Alaska, but on all their seeds it says made for Alaska. So with that in mind, if you have a similar season to what I have, maybe this would be a good seed company for you. I want to get into the seeds and take a look. I think I want to start with flowers. We have a couple of groupings of flowers, and what I did last year, and I have a ton of flower seeds, and I will of course be using some of those as well. So I looked this year because we bought so many things. The hydrangeas, if they survive the winter, cross our fingers, we've had no snow insulation. And the peonies, if they survive as well, they are in beautiful pinks and purples and whites and blues and kind of in that family. And so I wanted to kind of stick with that family for flowers in those areas this year. So you will see everything that we pulled is kind of in that pinks, a little hint of yellow. Oh, those are beautiful. Blues, lots and lots. Pinks, purples, blues, a little yellow, and some white. Look at that one. Isn't that beautiful? I think that will be so, so pretty. These grow for one season, so they are not gonna come back over and over and over again. And that's okay, because I think things that just grow for one season are beautiful and enjoyable. But I also think with them that it's nice to get to know exactly what you like. And when you plant something out there that's a long-term plant, if you don't love it, you're a little more hard-pressed to get rid of it, because you're like, oh, I invested in this, it's gonna keep living, and I don't really like it. And I think it's a great way to try out color mixes and all the different stuff. Then when I read the forget-me-nots, I planted forget-me-nots last year, and we did them in pots, and it kind of stunts their growth. And then I did them in the ground, and the ones in the ground we transferred over here because I had them in the garden. They were massive, 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 massive. And I was like, okay, so if we get some more forget-me-nots, they were so easy to grow. This is Alaska state flower. They were so big and so beautiful. I thought, we can do lots of little plants of them, and they get huge, and that would be the most beautiful border along the flower bed. So these, they say 2 years. So I don't know what happens, because forget-me-nots grow wild up here, which is why it's the state flower. And then we have the delphinium, and they will live for many, many years. So perennials and annuals, as well as, what would you call this? I'm new to gardening. So we moved in 2021, I didn't have a garden. 2022 was the saddest garden you've ever seen in your life. So we've had a 2023 and a 2024 true garden growing season. And now we're into 2025 season. So what is a plant called that is not an annual or perennial? Leave that in the comment section. So we have all of those flowers. And then I asked Aaron as a special gift for Valentine's. We don't normally celebrate it. We've been married a very long time. And I said, would you buy me a bunch of dahlias from a grower that was highly recommended for Alaska? And he said that he would. So I get to go on and pick out some dahlias. I think dahlias may be a really good investment up here in Alaska or anywhere, because you plant one and then it becomes multiple. So you have to dig it up every year. We're gonna have to learn how to store it. So we should start small and then grow from there. All of those different things. And I think they are so beautiful, and they grow so well up here that it is a huge flower market at the end of the season. And so my thoughts are, if I can learn to grow them and they will multiply, then I can increase the flower gardens without additional investments if I can work with these and really figure it out. So I grabbed these today just because I couldn't help it. I want to open them. I want to get familiar with what is going on. And in the class that I took a couple weeks ago, the All Dahlia Up is a company, a business, a flower farm in Palmer, Alaska. And she actually starts planting hers indoors in March. So we got to get them going in the soil. She taught us how to do it. She showed us what she does. And that way we get early cuttings, because the more you cut the dahlia, the more blooms will come on the plant. So I'm super excited because I think this could really grow and turn into lots and lots of plants. So I had the purple and pinks and the beautiful things over there. That is a shaded area, some sun, and dahlias like full sun. I thought that I would plant these in, around, and near the rhubarb and some other parts on a different part of the land, the garden. And these say that they can go in pots and all sorts of different things. But I really love the deep reds, the yellows, the pinks, all this kind of combination. Plus I wanted to try the different, is there gonna be a difference in the brands and those sort of things. We have the proven winners. They were $20. And then the Vigoro, V-I-G-O-R-O, excuse my dyslexia. Look at these. They come in all sorts of shapes, sizes, colors, the whole thing. I thought it's almost black looking if it blooms that color. I thought, wouldn't that be so pretty with these? Don't you think? So how much was this one? It is 2 dahlia bulbs for $9.98. So I think that'll go in one garden area. And then finishing out the Home Depot, I showed you earlier, we got some asparagus. I'd like to order some asparagus online, some of the purples and different ones. Can you recommend a asparagus place to me? I don't know anyone that's really growing it up here. Never saw this at the Home Depot before. So I thought, heck, let's give it a try. Let's see what it says. It says it loves the sun. That's what our garden's in. 6 inches down, 1 per square foot. Harvest time, late spring, early summer. Height is 24 to 36 inches. And the hardiness zone, where 5 is 2 to 9. So these should absolutely, and then they come with instructions. So I'll have to read through those tonight. That was an impulse purchase for about $4 a piece. I couldn't pass the seeds, right? Look at this bright pink zinnia. We grew zinnias last year. They do really beautiful up here. I grabbed some lavender. I have some lavender planted out there. We'll see if it comes back. But these are actually saying 90 days to harvest. This one's 90 to 200 days to harvest. Start indoors 8 to 10 weeks before last anticipated spring frost. Same here, 8 to 10 weeks. But I think lavender, I love it in coffee. I love the smell of it. I think the purple flowers are just absolutely beautiful. Totally different looks to those. The Morning Glory, look how beautiful dark purple those ones are. I grabbed sage, and I did have sage. Sage has absolutely become one of my favorite herbs. It'll go over here. And I struggle to grow it, and I haven't been able to grow it from seeds. So we'll continue trying. Aster, look at those. And then I thought, oh look, of course course, we need some calendula and some butterfly weed. I've never grown this. This one I think is just absolutely beautiful, and it should be good. We do get butterflies and so on up here. It's a drought tolerant plant that produces many blooms over a long season and attracts butterflies, perennial zones 3 to 10, 365 days to bloom. Plant 12 weeks before ground freezes. Sow seeds evenly in a thin and cover 1/4 inch pipe to firm, lightly keep evenly moist for 10 to 20 days. Blooms in summer. We have to plant this fall. So 12 weeks before the ground freezes. Okay, we'll put that in the calendar. So we won't get that this year, but wow, what a beautiful plant. I will figure out some place for that to go as well. So those are, all right, let's start with the herbs we're going to try and start from seed this year. This Chinese cilantro, which is parsley. This was by our garlic, and you guys, the plant was probably no like this big around. We cut off of it 20, 30 times, and it did so well that this is absolutely getting grown again. And then, like I said, I grabbed some sage from the Home Depot. We'll try it. We have chives. Chives do really well here, and they come back year after year if you plant them someplace where they can overwinter. And they do really amazing up here. Large leaf Italian parsley, so that should do good. Lemon basil, sweet marjoram. I haven't gotten this to grow to where I've been able to have any of it. It just says scatter the seed. Dill does really amazing up here. This is a broadleaf sage. Oregano and thyme. And then I will purchase the little rosemaries and some of the other herbs from the greenhouse, but these are kind of some stuff that we can start from seed and get going. And then these are the vegetables. If you remember in an earlier garden video, I said what I've done in the past, and I think every new gardener should do it that way. Plant as many different things as you possibly can and just stinking learn. Learn how to grow a cabbage, learn how to grow a radish, learn how to grow any of these things, and then dial in exactly what you're going to grow. I think the best thing I did for myself was getting one of everything and figuring it out. Where that has led though over the years, the last 2 years, is I don't know exactly what is doing the best and what we like the best, because no matter how I label, I'm still confused when I go out there as to what exactly it is that I'm growing. So this year, I'm only going to seed start 3 kinds of tomatoes. We have the Polar Beauty, the Sweetie, and the Early Tannina. So these 3, and then they are going to tell you here if it has to be in a greenhouse or if it can actually grow outside. Most tomatoes and peppers have to be grown inside of a greenhouse here in Alaska. We just don't get warm enough outside for those things to survive. Erin keeps asking me, please try to grow corn. Corn, it literally says, has to be grown in a high tunnel or under cover. So I don't know what his plans are, but I grabbed him some corn seeds made for Alaska, peaches and cream, and a Yukon Chief. So what my plan is with most of the other fruits and vegetables and the tomatoes, corn, all of those things, is to get to the end of the season and say this or that. And then whichever the winner is, we get that one, and then we try a new one next year to where we're only growing 2 and 3 varieties of things, not 5 and 10 varieties. So for the radishes, we went with the Crimson Giant and the early Scarlet Globe. So we went with those two. I love radishes. They pop up nice and early and easily here in Alaska. And last year we had a wonderful beet harvest. We've pickled beets on the channel and we've freeze dried them. They make like little chips. They are amazing and they grew wonderful, but I don't know which ones are my favorites, and they all kind of taste similar. So I want to see which one grows the biggest, the best, the fastest, those sort of things. So we have the Golden Detroit, we have the Ruby Queen, and we have the Early Wonder. So just 3 different beets this year. Peppers, I'm going to pick up some jalapeno plants from the greenhouse because I've struggled the last few years with any of these, and I haven't gotten peppers to harvest, but I did my first year when I grew them in 5-gallon buckets outside, but I had gotten them at the local greenhouse. So I'm gonna get some, but we'll still keep trying to learn to do it from seed. We have the California Wonder, that's a red bell pepper, the new Ace hybrid, and then the Hungarian Yellow Wax. If we can actually manage to grow these, you can can those up, and they're one of Erin's favorite canned type of peppers. Pumpkins and squash, we actually got a few of these this year. What we learned was we have to start these inside, and then they need to be grown outside in the garden. But if we don't start them inside, they take forever and we don't get any pumpkins. So we went with a buttercup squash this year. The small sugar pumpkins, if I can actually grow enough of these, I would love to start having my own pumpkins. I haven't had enough over the last several years. We've had to go to the grocery store and buy the sugar pumpkins because we make all of our own pumpkin pie from scratch. Pumpkin's really good for the dogs and their diet, as well as us, as far as pastas and all these other things that we love to do. And then we got a golden nugget squash as well. What I'm hoping is none of these are going to be huge, and they are all storage. These two are storage varieties, and then the pumpkins are literally for pie texture. So hopefully we can learn from what we did last year, and that was to just have them totally spaced in their own spot in the garden where it can just go ham, go wild, and it'll be fantastic. As far as lettuces and greens, I did get 2 packs of arugula because I would like to succession plant on it. Arugula is called rocket in Europe, if you want to know that. It is a peppery, somewhere between an herb and a green, but it actually is really, really good for you. It is a very, very healthy thing no matter what diet that you're on. I grabbed a couple of some lettuce. I have a few, I think, in the basement. Kale, and 2 spinaches. So we're gonna dial back on those and figure out which ones are our favorite, because they always end up going to seed anyway. It gets warm enough and the sun is so long that things like that are kind of hard to grow here because of nearly 24 hours of sun. All right, as far as the peas and beans go, we have 2 shelling peas. What that means is these are the peas you get in the freezer section. They are the little peas that you find in the can. You open the shell and you pull the peas out. So we have an early frost and an Alaska. Snap peas, which are my husband's favorite. He loves to just wander out there and it's snacks, snacks in the garden. So I grabbed 2 of these. We have a sugar snap and a sugar Ann. So 2, sticking with it. I didn't lie. I just knew that I could have possibly. We have 1 top-notch golden wax. I'm gonna have to read on these because I think several of these green beans, the green beans don't vine. So they're like a bush, and so I need to pay really good attention to what I'm doing this year. And then green beans, we have a provider and a contender. So are we contending or providing? What are we doing? So we'll figure out if any of those work this year. Cabbages have been fantastic. They grow early, they do pretty well. I need to figure out how to get them a little more dense, but that's okay. We're learning. They did great this last year. We did 1 red, which is a Red Express, 2 green. We have the early Jersey Wakefield, and then the Golden Acre. So we have that one. Same, I did get 3 cauliflowers. I'll get to those. We did 2 broccolis, green sprouting Calabres, C-A-L-A-B-R-E-S-E, and then the Gypsy. So broccoli. Broccoli did all right last year. It didn't do as good as the cauliflower, and it turns out I have always loved broccoli. I love it just frozen, steamed broccoli, but I think I might like cauliflower more. Who'd have thought that? So I got 3 cauliflowers because I want to know which one is the one that grows the best. But what I found with the cauliflowers last year, if you followed my garden, is some were ready early and they were huge, like done. They started to spread out. You pull them so that they don't turn into a giant flower. They got that nice hard head. And then some, the same varieties, ended up much, much later. And so I loved that I was constantly able to harvest cauliflower by doing more than 1 variety. So we're doing that again. The Snow Crown, we have the Igloo, and then the Snowball Early. Okay, so only a few more things. Let's get through it. Carrots, we're only gonna try 2 carrots. We had so many carrots. I do want the colored ones, but they don't have the colored ones from Denali. So I am gonna have to see if I can get them locally. Otherwise, I'll have to order them up here. Those purple carrots were amazing last year. Grew so many of them, and I just planted them so that something was in the soil, and they were fantastic. So Scarlet Nantes, and then the Tender Sweets. So 2 carrots, 2 Brussels sprouts. Lord help us, will we ever get a Brussels sprout? So I started enough of these last year. I gave them to my friend Crystal at Flat Tire Farm. Hers were from my seed starts, and they were huge, and she got actual Brussels sprouts off of them. What on earth? I didn't. Mine were maybe overcrowded. I don't know. Maybe I just need grow less plants of them, give them more space. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Is it a fertilizer? She goes, I don't even fertilize them. And I was like, am I over fertilizing them? What am I doing? I love Brussels sprouts, so I really, really want them to actually grow. Do you remember my artichokes? If nothing else, is the most medieval looking plant. They are so beautiful, and they got so huge. I was so proud of these this last year. The first year, no artichokes grew. The second year, they were so beautiful. I would love to maybe like border one of the fences with them, because they just get so big and they kind of need a little bit of support. They do really, really well in Alaska. One thing of celery, because I can grow a year's worth of celery in 1/10 of what I normally grow, and celery does so amazing up here. And then a couple of squashes or zucchinis. Let me see. You're a cucumber. Okay, so 2. We have the green zucchinis, the Black Beauty and the Burpee Ford Hook. We have those. So these are not a vine up here. They're a bush. And so keeping that in mind, you can plant them a little bit closer because they're not trailing off across the garden. That was a life lesson I didn't expect, as well as the golden ones, because I needed to do more research and understand. The first year they didn't grow, the second year they did amazing. All of this has to be planted inside and then grown outside. We got the yellow ones. The yellow ones were awful. I don't know. They all had something wrong with them, so we got almost no yellow ones that were edible, but tons of green ones that were. We're gonna try the yellow ones another time. So that's the golden. And then as far as cucumbers go, I got 2 for pickling and 2 for eating. The marketer and the muncher. So those are gonna be salad cucumbers. These are really, really good with just a little bit of vinegar. They're good straight. Put them on a salad, put them on a sandwich, whatever. And then these are some pickling cucumbers, which are the modern early and the little leaf H19. And that is it for our vegetables, our herbs, and our flower haul. Let's plant up some plants. All right, I went down and got some pots. I love this one. Love it. So, all right, let's see. And then what I want to do is see this giant plant behind me. I'm going to show it to you in just a second. We're going to try and pull it apart and see if we cannot pull out. So cute. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is this white one is gonna simply go in this little box that says Hello Spring, and I'm gonna put this one in my grandmother's room, and then we will put this for an outdoor pot, because these will actually live all summer outside here. And so if we just tuck that in there, that is perfectly cute. That can go on her dresser. How cute is that? Done. What we need to do is get this potting mix wet. All right, I'm just gonna put this little pot here on the sheet pan, and then we'll just make sure we get some soil in there. So we just have some indoor plant potting soil. And hopefully this isn't too big of a step up, but I don't have anything smaller, and I thought I did, but that's all right. We'll figure it out, and then just pop out. Oh yeah, look at that. They're super light. There we go. Check those roots in. Are you like me? Are you just ready for some green? This has been the strangest winter. We have hardly no snow at all. We haven't gotten the super negative temperatures that we normally get. It has been cold, but it's also been warm. It has been strange, strange, strange. And I just want to make sure on this plant that I don't put the soil level above where it was. That's cute. I think that'll spread out and grow. I'll rinse off the sides, and that one's ready. And then what I'm going to do, I did this the last time for this plant that I need to divide. I did a mixture of house soil and the orchid mix, because it kind of has these a coarse blend, and it has some sticks, and I only have a little bit of it, and that's all right. Kind of break up the soil, and it keeps it from kind of compacting together and really well. Drainage has turned into this. I got these at Lowe's on the clearance section. I killed all but this one, and now we're running a giant risk. But when we look at it, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 plants essentially here, and it hasn't had new or fresh soil since I got it. We'll see if we're able to even get, yep, gently. Oh my gosh, look at that. Holy cow. Look at that root system. That is crazy. So I want to see if I can just, there, look at how easily that divided. I am gonna knock some of this soil off. Okay, so there's one, because I want fresh soil. We have 3 pots, so we'll see if we can do 2 in one and 1 in each of the others. And then, I'm wondering if I should go to the basement and get a smaller pot for these. I probably should. Like this. Like maybe a little bigger than that. Because, anywho. So all this old soil, I'm just gonna compost and get rid of. It has a funky smell. I'm gonna get a bed in the bottom there and then push some up on the sides. But I really want to be able, look at that. So I think I'm gonna put a ball right in the center. I don't know what I'm doing here. No exaggeration. But I really want to spread them out. There. Maybe a little higher. Hey. Yep, she's firm. Look at that. Look at that. We'll rinse it. It's been super happy in this pot for a long time, so no sense changing stuff. It just was getting too big. If you've been following me since the beginning, this is the plant that was one of the first things I ever did on the homestead, plant-wise. And all the other ones died, but this one totally survived, obviously, and multiplied. So it's bloomed several times, the great big beautiful red flower that it blooms. It's been amazing. Okay, there we go. All right, so this one I use for seed starting, but it's okay. It's gonna work for now. My grandma's gonna ask my mom to take her shopping, and so I'll let her kind of go get some pots and things for in her room and what have you. So I just have the potting mix, indoor plants. Down. When I went down, I found this and I thought, oh, that's cuter than that, so. And if it's happy in here, we'll just put this little planter outside. Okay. Soil. I love roses. They're by far one of my favorite things. Cody bought me one of these for Mother's Day. I planted it outside. It doesn't overwinter, but it just did amazing in a hanging basket next to the woodshed. Beautiful. Look at that. All right, oh my goodness. So this one plant became 1, 2, 3, 3 and 4. So we got 4 plants from 1. And then, easy fellas. Look at you, Mom.
How beautiful, honey.
Thanks. I divided the one that was on the table. You can have one of them, or I'll keep the big ones out here, but I got one of the rose bushes for you, for this plant, whatever you want for your room. We have the purple,
Those are beautiful,
the
honey.
white, and then I got this little plant. This was, all 4 of these were in that one pot on the table, and I divided them, and now I have 4 plants. But I did buy a rose bush for you. Which one would you like? The white or the purple?
I like that one.
You want this plant instead of the roses? I'll bring this in and set it on your dresser for you.
Okay.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's beautiful, honey.
Yeah, I just got that. I got that one of the little $6 plants at Home Depot, and I thought, that is what I went to get you. But then when I saw the roses, I was like, oh, who doesn't love roses?
I love roses.
Yeah, and these, if these 2 survive, they'll end up huge.
Yeah.
Like that one plant I cut back to like this a couple of years ago, and now we got 4 out of it.
Wow.
How
I
crazy
gotta
is
go
that?
sit down and
Okay,
I'm very weak.
all right, let me get behind you. So there we have it, some beautiful plants, a seed haul, a shopping, everything in today's video. I'm so happy. In fact, I'm gonna camp out on the couch and start going through all of the seeds.
Beautiful.
Thank you, G-Mom. And I am gonna just start dreaming and planning this year's garden and flower gardens, and I hope that you are doing the same. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for being here with us today, and I hope that you are blessed. I hope that you make plans for the spring and something beautiful for your spring and summer as well. And I hope that I get to see you in the next video. So with that, enjoy your day, enjoy your week. I'll see you soon. So this one is your choice.